Hello, everybody. Just want to start out by saying thank you so much for the over 1,000 people that watched my first video. It was righteously mind-blowing to me that that many people checked it out, and meant a lot to me. Sharing something that's deeply, deeply personal and the most important thing in my world, and the fact that that many people looked at it meant a lot to me. And I hope you all will continue watching. I hate it when people do this, but I'm going to ask you anyway. I have one subscriber. If you felt like subscribing, if you felt like hitting the like button, whatever, thank you. That being said, I want to move on and keep this video log going. I want to keep talking about recovery. I want to keep talking about the things that keep us alive. I told a little bit of my story last time, told about my very last use and what almost cut me off from this planet, and the fact that it didn't. So basically, I'm going to continue the story from there. Last time I spoke, I talked about my overdose and the fact that it took me years to really realize that that was a thinly veiled, or not so thinly veiled, suicide attempt. Whenever I've been asked if I was ever suicidal, I've always said no, but, that's what that was, let's be honest. So after that happened, I had the enormous privilege of going to treatment, and a really nice treatment center, a high-end place, and I know not everybody gets that lucky, but I did. And, to those of you who don't, all I can say is I'm here for you. I'm working with you. I'm trying to create a better life, a better situation where any addict, every addict who's suffering, who wants help, can get it. We're not there yet in our society. We got a long ways to go, but I'm going to keep working until we get there. So I got to go to a place out in the Redwoods, beautiful place. Got to get clean, and it was painful. 20 plus years of doing opiates, and I got arrested, I'd get locked up, I'd go to treatment many times, but I'd never really been made to detox all the way down, all the way to nothing, ever, in that entire period. I mean, I'd go and I'd do 10 days here and 5 days there in jail, or go to treatment. But when I was in treatment, they'd always give me Suboxone or methadone or something. I'd never actually gone all the way down. And holy crap, it hurt. It hurt bad. I know people think of heroin withdrawals and they think, oh, 2 or 3 days, you're going to be better. After that, no. No. It took 2 or 3 days before I was even sick. And after that, because they were trying to do this rapid Suboxone taper thing on me, I remember at about 9-10 days, the CEO of the facility I was at came and met with me, and he's like, man, are you okay? Like, what's going on with you? Because I was seeing fucking shadow people. I hadn't slept. I'm like seeing people out the corner of my eyes, like, talk about the monkey on your back. I was seeing the monkey. So it took me roughly 6 months before I actually slept through the night and felt okay. Just be patient with each other. Be patient with people when they're going through that. It's more painful than you can imagine. It's not. They talk about it's like I've had the worst flu of my life. Nah, you've had the worst flu of your life on steroids, but you also have incredible anxiety. Your brain's spinning. At least when you got the flu, you can sleep. This ain't like that. You can't sleep. There's nothing that's going to take care of you except sweating and going through it. That's all. Anyway, I didn't mean to dive too deep down that rabbit hole, obviously. That's a particular memory for me. So what I kind of wanted to get into today is what happened afterwards. So, for all you guys out there that have just got clean, that have just kicked the fucking habit and are just trying to make it through another day, man, I'm here for you. And please don't hesitate to drop me a message. I will respond every single time. This is what I do for a living. It's what I love doing. If just being there for you, for just being willing to hear your words, if that can help get you through one more day, man, that's a small thing that I can do. So please don't hesitate. So when I got out of treatment that last time, couple things. My family hadn't really been wanting to talk to me too much up to that point, but I think they sensed that there was something different about me at that point. And to my astonishment, my mom said, "Hey, your bedroom's all ready for you. You can come home." And I surprised her when I said, "I'm not coming home. I'm not. Thank you, but I'm not going to do that." And she said, "Well, where are you going?" And I said, "Well, I'm going to this SLE, the sober living house." And she said, "Okay, well, what do you need? Like, how much money do you need?" And I said, "Thank you so much for offering, but I'm gonna borrow some money from a friend of mine and take care of it myself." And they thought I was insane for going to debt to do that. But there's something they didn't understand, which was that I needed to stand on my own 2 feet. I had to. So many of us have bent the world around our little fingers, done everything to make everything the way that we need it to be for so long that we forget, or if we ever knew, what it is to stand on our own feet and work a legit job and get things the way that other people get them. So that's what I did. And my parents thought I was nuts, but I borrowed money from a friend of mine and paid that. And within 2 months, I had him paid back. I had a job. I had my car. I had everything that I thought was going to take me a year to get inside of 2 or 3 months. And very quickly, I remember I got invited to my family's house for New Year's, I think. And I was blown away just to be asked to come over. But my father, I remember he looked at me and he said, "I get it now. I get why you had to do that." Because I had to stand on my own 2 feet. I had to do things my way. And, in the Fellowship of Narcotics Anonymous, we talk a lot about being powerless over our addiction, things like that. And I believe in that, and I agree with that, but there's some things that I don't agree with. And that's that you are powerful. You are powerful. We are powerless over that shit that we put in our body, that dope that I've put in my arm, but you are powerful. And you need to grasp that. We need to be powerful over our lives. And when that day happens, when we get that power back, that's when we begin to succeed again. And so even though I was months away from even sleeping through the fucking night without withdrawal pains, I felt that power and it felt good. And I wanted more of that. So see, there's a downward spiral of addiction, right? There's an equal and opposite upward spiral. The downward spiral is that genetics and environment come into play. And we something happens in our lives that makes us use in the first place, right? Then when we use, there starts to become consequences. Small at first, bigger later, but the consequences make us feel like shit. When we feel like shit, we've already discovered there's a substance that can make us feel better. So we use more of it. The more of it, the bigger consequences, etc., until we're spiraling out jails, institutions, and death, right? Okay, now there's an equal and opposite upward spiral. We put in a little bit of effort, small at first. Maybe it's just that you don't drink the rest of the bottle that night. And then because the next day you didn't drink it, you feel a little bit less shitty than you would have otherwise. So then that makes you feel something. You feel a little bit good. You feel a sense of accomplishment. That accomplishment makes you feel like you did something. And when we feel good, we want more. So we put in a bigger effort, et cetera, until we're spiraling out into getting relationships back, into, getting college degrees, into buying houses, into all these things, right? So remember that there's an equal and opposite upward spiral that goes